AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusuf. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. And oh, by the way, it's a hump day.
It's hump day.
Let's hump, everybody.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Saints are playing in Paris against the Steelers.
Hump day.
We had the unofficial mascot of New Orleans, Hold DeMayo, here in hour 1.
It's hump day.
A guy said he's going to be eating some French onion soup.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Love that.
Hump day.
We got to get Hold DeMayo to Paris.
It's hump day.
Who wants to sponsor Hold DeMayo to Paris?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Tell me every bit of that content wouldn't go viral.
Hump day.
Got to make it happen.
It's hump day.
Flight,
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
hotels,
Hump day.
dinners at fine dining French restaurant.
It's hump day.
See Deb just on a French sidewalk burning a heater.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Tell me you couldn't see that.
Hump day.
Tell me you couldn't see that.
I mean, it would absolutely happen. It's not that I could see it. It would happen.
So
It's
good.
hump day.
Brad Crawford was here in hour 1.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
CBS Sports
Hump day.
as LSU in the college football playoff.
It's hump day.
Another one.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Another one.
Another one.
Hump day.
Scott Chanley was here.
It's hump day.
Dabo's delusional.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Cal Raleigh showered with his uniform on.
Hump day.
Jay Johnson not naming a starting pitcher tomorrow.
It's hump day.
Pitcher watch.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Do you have any of the watches over there?
Not handy at the current moment. No. I had to.
Awesome.
I took one of them off so I could put the other one on. I just haven't put the other one back on yet.
Awesome.
Hump day.
What was that show I was trying to remember again?
It's hump day.
Law and Order, LSU. Was that it? Law and Order? Is that what it is?
Oh, Shay's thing? Yeah. Law and Order LSU. How about that? For Shay. Here we go. Got that for you, though, Scone. That's right here. Love it.
All right, let's get going here. Hour 3. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. I'm gonna change the order of things a little because I had this back and forth with an LSU fan on Twitter. This is no one ever exists in a vacuum. So if one person's thinking it, others are thinking it. And this woman's name is Becky. I don't mind saying it because she's putting this on Twitter publicly. So LSU, you probably saw earlier today, LSU basketball shared a link on all their social media They're having a night with Will Wade at Supper Club, and it's a fundraiser. So it'll be limited seating, obviously, and it's $3,500 a head. And if you want access to the VIP hour before dinner, it's $5,000 a head. And so I tweeted, great idea. It's more work to engage the donors outside the top 1%, but it's essential. Supporters in the 10,000 to 100,000 range will give. They just need to be asked. And so then there's this woman, Becky, who said, "You're joking, right? $10,000 to $100,000. Have you bought a tank of gas lately, Matt?" Earth to Matt. And so I said, "Becky, you do realize there's people who make enough money not to care about how much gas costs, and those same people can afford a $3,500 dinner." And my point is LSU needs those donors. And then she's persisted, saying it's not an easy ask. Don't tell people what they can afford. I'm saying, clearly you don't understand. There are quite literally legions of fans who buy premium seats and suites and spend a lot of money, who make a lot of money, who own businesses, who aren't seven-figure donors, but could give $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, $100,000. But you got to engage that part of your fan base to let them know their donations would be appreciated, how it'd be used, all that sort of stuff. You have to court them. And this is something, because I live in that world with a lot of business owners, a lot of whom are supporters of this show, or are sponsors of this show, and are supporters of LSU, and I know this to be true. But what's true is it's easier to go sit at a lunch with one booster and get $1 million check. It's one lunch, you get $1 million. Boom, big lick, easy, right? Think in sales, like if you do sales, whatever you may do, it's easy to go get the one big contract than 10 smaller contracts. They may cumulatively equal that one large contract. But it might be easier to find the yeses in the 10 smaller ones than to find the one big yes. But what's happening right now at a lot of places, but certainly at LSU, and they're not immune to it, but in this era, of the NIL era, every athletic department keeps going back and knocking on the door of the same people that are asked to fund and support these initiatives. Like we all know the names. I mean, Todd Graves and our friends at Our Lady of the Lake and Holden Spate, Gordon McKernan, Pepper Rutland at MMR. And these are incredibly generous people. But everybody has a limit where, like, they can only give so much. So you have to find new revenue streams, which is something we've talked about a lot here. And something that throughout the NIL era, and I've told you this a lot because from the beginning of the NIL era, I've been very plugged into these circles. I was doing a podcast with Jonathan Pixley. It was an NIL podcast, probably maybe the first NIL podcast ever. I don't know. It was one of the few. Nobody was doing that 5 years ago. And we talked to coaches and administrators and boosters and the heads of collectives and athletes and everybody. And some schools did a really good job of engaging that level of fan who could give at that level. And I believe LSU did not do a great job relative to what I know other schools and programs and athletic departments did. And so I think it's very important as you look for new revenue streams to be able to engage that level donor. Because I think if people know what the ask is and you give them value, they will participate. So this is an example of that. This will be a small, sort of an intimate gathering. I don't know how many seats they'll sell for this dinner with Will Wade. But of course it's limited. I mean, it's at Supper Club, Supper Club is a big place, but it's not, you're not going to fit 500 people in there. You know what I mean? It's going to be a smaller gathering where everybody who buys a ticket is going to have the opportunity to have FaceTime with Will Wade, which is a great idea. And there's enough people who can afford $3,500 a head to go do this. And in one night, let's say you have 100 people at $3,500. Well, great. You just made $350,000 in a night, or maybe $500,000 in a night. So that's time well spent, effort well spent in engaging a different segment of your donor base. So this is absolutely the type of thing they should be doing. A week ago, our buddy Peter Burns was in town, I think maybe Tuesday last week. There was an event with Will Wade and with Lane Kiffin and several coaches at one of the Highland Road Mount Hope, I believe it was the Mount Hope Plantation, where they have events and stuff. And Peter came in town. He emceed that. It was a small gathering. It was a fundraiser to appeal to that level of the donor base, which is something LSU is clearly putting effort behind doing, because you have to do that. It gets the people who have been so generous in supporting LSU through this era, and I just listed them. I mean, we all know the names. And then there's obviously other. Charles Harvey has been insanely generous. I mean, there's so many people. There's people who've been incredibly generous. I don't want to sit here and list names and leave people off, but I think by and large we know who a lot of them are. But there's people who are capable of giving. You have to ask and give them a reason to give. And you do that, it's going to help supplement and alleviate so much of the pressure off the top tier when they might just start saying, man, I'm tapped out. So I love it. I think it's a great idea. And if you're like Becky, then don't go and continue to believe that there are only two types of people in the world: the ultra rich who own private planes and have 7 homes, and then people who live paycheck to paycheck. I know that's not reality. I think most of you probably understand that as well. There's plenty of people who make $500,000 a year, $750,000, $1.2 million, and you may think that's someone who's flying on a plane and giving millions of bucks, but it's not. But those are the types of people who can't afford to write a $50,000 check, a $25,000 check, go to a $5,000 a head dinner. And those are the people you need to be engaging because you need new revenue streams. All right, it's after further review. Glad to have you aboard with us here. Thanks for hanging out. Remember, you can always email us, tweet us, or text 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Let me knock out a quick break. Hump Day shows are brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. YourGoodwood.com, YourGoodwood.com. Lowest prices, never any contracts, YourGoodwood.com. We'll knock out a break. When we come back, let me talk about. I told you we kind of went out of order from the rundown. Come back. I'll talk a little bit about the Saints playing in Paris. I want to react to that. Saints playing the Steelers in Paris, and then I will get also to Kirk Herbstreit, his thoughts on LSU that he said with Pat McAfee, another national media member buying the Tigers in a big way. It's AFR.
After further review.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. You've been injured in an accident. It's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Get Gordon and get it done. A couple different ways you can do that, of course. If you want to go online, you can do that. Preferred method for a lot of people. Website's easy. We say it all the time. GetGordon.com. 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 Go to the website. There's a contact bubble if you want to chat with an associate right there on the website. You could do it. There's testimonials right there on the homepage. Also talks about the type of cases, the type of injury cases they handle. Website's a great resource. So go to GetGordon.com. GetGordon.com. And if you'd rather call, you can call somebody. Just dial the 8s, no matter where you are in the state of Louisiana. 888-8888, 888-8888, 888-8888, or getgordon.com. Getgordon.com. Gordon, of course, been insanely generous in the way that he supported LSU's NIL efforts, part of the G team, members of the G team, like we talk about all the time, but so many other ways that Gordon has been so generous in support of our communities. Get Gordon and get it done.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
All right, glad you're rolling along with us here on Hump Day edition of AFR. We knew already the Saints were going to play in Paris. What we now know is when they're going to play in Paris and who they are going to play in Paris. If in fact Aaron Rodgers does return to the Pittsburgh Steelers, as many assume that he will, the Saints will play Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers at. How do I pronounce this? Did either of you take French in school? No, Paul?
I did not.
French? No.
I took it in elementary school and a few years in high school.
Okay, this will do. Stade. De France. That's the name of the stadium. Is it Stade de France? Stade? What would it be?
That would be the way I would say it.
How would you say it?
Stade de France?
Stade de France. That's what I'll go with. Okay. They're going to play Week 7 at Stade de France. 9 international games this year in the NFL. So that'll be the most outside the NFL in league history. Roger Goodell said many times he wants to get to 16. He wants to have so the Week 17 there would not be, I guess Week 17 or 18 there would not be an international game. But every other week the rest of the year they'd have an international game. The thing that stood out most to me, so a couple things. Number one, the Saints are going to play in Paris, first game ever in Paris. Week 7, which is October 25th. We've also learned that the Saints are sort of lobbying for a Thursday night football game the week before, so Week 6. That means they would play on Thursday and then have 3 extra days before they played the following Sunday in Paris. It will also be interesting to see if the Saints elect to play their bye or take their bye the week after. Now, teams that play internationally are given the option to take their bye after their international contest. Some choose to, some choose not to, depending on when the international game is played. For example, like this sucks. The 49ers and the Rams play in Australia in Week 1. Like, Australia is halfway around the world. I mean, it's a 24-hour flight to Australia. So I cannot fathom playing a game on a Sunday in Australia, then flying halfway across the world and playing a game the next week. But you don't want to have your bye in Week 2. So the Saints playing in Paris in Week 7 actually falls at an okay spot on the calendar. They're at the end of October. So if you take your bye in Week 8, that's a pretty appropriate place to have it. I mean, you would have then 10 weeks after that of games, but that's better than having your bye. I mean, I don't even think they'll let you. I think the bye starting week. Is bye starting Week 4? Is that right? Do you have that right? I'm almost positive. Check that, please, if you would. I'm almost positive that's when the byes start in the NFL. So nobody ever wants them that early because that means then you have this long grind like 14 weeks after that. When is it?
Week 5.
Week 5. Okay, so then you'd have the long grind after that. So you kind of want it right in the middle. So Week 8 would actually kind of be appropriate for the Saints if it plays out that way. The real disappointment here is that the Saints are the home team. So you're giving up a game in the Dome, and the Steelers haven't played in the Dome since 2018. And because they're an AFC team and you're only going to play them during the rotation, whenever you get the rotations every 3 years, or I guess with the AFC, it'd be every 4 years you play every division in full, but then it's 4 and then another 4 before they return the trip, right? So 4 years from now, the Saints will play in Pittsburgh. Then 4 years after that, Pittsburgh will be here. So it'll be 8 years before the Steelers come back here. So that's disappointing for fans. And that's the one thing I hate about the international games is you do screw the home fans. I mean, these are games you're taking away a home game of your team that fans would have an opportunity to see. I also understand that in expanding the game internationally, revenues are going up, so owners are making more money, and in a collectively bargained league, as a CBA, you have more revenue and the players share in that. So the players are going to make more money by playing these games as well. It's why the players are willing to go to 17. It's why they'll go to 18 and eventually 20 games, because they're going to make more money in so doing. So there's a give and take with all of this. The other observation, not just with the Saints playing the Steelers in Paris, the other observation is if you look at the 9 international games, y'all, these are some really good games. I mentioned Rams-Niners. That's a divisional game with 2 contenders in week 1 in Melbourne. In week 3, the Ravens and the Cowboys are playing in Rio. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys are the biggest brand in the NFL, and the Ravens have a multiple-time MVP in Lamar Jackson. Bengals-Falcons will play in Madrid in week 9. We mentioned the Saints. Colts-Commanders will play in London in week 4. Eagles will play the Jags in week 5. Texans will play the Jags in week 6. So for the first time, the Jags are staying in London for back-to-back weeks. They're going to play 2 different stadiums. They're going to play at Tottenham Hotspur and then Wembley in consecutive weeks. Patriots-Lions? I mean, the Patriots were in the Super Bowl. The Lions are an NFC contender. And because that's an AFC-NFC matchup, that's not one you're going to see regularly. And they're taking that one, again, away from a home game, which I believe Detroit's the home team, and playing it internationally. And then Vikings-Niners in Mexico City. Like, it's one thing if we're talking about, like, Jets-Jags, a game that nobody really cares about. Or, like, shout out to the NFC South, but, like, Bucks-Panthers, okay. Browns-Titans, like, you could get away with taking that international because stateside, that's never going to be the marquee game in a weekend. And internationally, they don't care. They just want to watch an NFL game. But they're taking some really good matchups away from home stadiums and put them internationally. I wonder how much the international fan will actually get it, like how much they'll actually care that it's Patriots-Ravens as opposed to Falcons-Bucks. You know what I mean? Or is it just the fact that they get to see an NFL game? I don't know. But it is fascinating when this comes out and how they're manipulating the schedule to do this, to play all these international games. And I do think it's to the detriment of the product. I do think it's to the detriment of the players. The travel's hard. But, I mean, every business is always looking at how you can generate new revenue and make more money and scale. And this is a way that the NFL and under Roger Goodell is choosing to do it by playing more international games. And this year there will be 9 of them. The Saints will play week 7 against the Steelers. So tomorrow on Thursday, we'll be off air, but Thursday evening will be the full NFL schedule release. While we're on air, we may have the schedule. Like, usually it leaks before the schedule release show. So we may have the full schedule before we go off air on Thursday. But we'll know in full, definitively, and officially on Thursday night. And I am someone who believes that the schedule reveal is relevant. Not only the who you play, but when and where you play them. Do you have outdoor cold weather games in December? Do you have to travel on a Thursday night football game after traveling? Like, do you have to travel across the country, come home, then travel again on a short week for Thursday night football? Like, all those things matter. You know, who you play, yes, it's the NFL. They're all tough games. But when and where you play, I think, is certainly significant. We'll find that out for the Saints tomorrow. All right, we're brought to you by Parish Restoration, parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com. Remember, kill mold, remove odor, other harmful pathogens. Doesn't matter if it's your house, if it's your, they can even come dry fog your vehicle. Any type of commercial building, if it's your business, church, school, doctor's office, maybe you own a gym, a workout facility, you want to sanitize it and get rid of all the sweat odor, Parish Restoration. They'll come in, spray their patented non-toxic dry fog. It's mold remediation done right the first time. It's Parish Restoration. Go to the website, parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com. Fill out the form. They'll be in touch. They'll give you that free estimate. It's parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Jimmy's going to be here in about 15 minutes, a little more than 15 minutes from right now for Otterlocks. If you want Otterlocks, they're posted right now at louisianasports.net. Remember, everything always free, louisianasports.net. And if you want breaking news updates texted to you, all you have to do is text LSN, the 3 letters, LSN. Text LSN as in louisianasports.net. Text LSN to 225-499-1045, 499-1045. All right, let me knock out a break. Come back. Kirk Herbstreit, believer in Lane Kiffin's Tigers here in year one. We'll get to it next. You'll hear what he said. It's AFR.
After further review.
Love telling you about Rev Fiber because I love telling you about great local businesses, and Rev has been around for 90 years. They are Louisiana's largest Louisiana-based internet service provider and oldest. 90 years serving our communities. That's Rev Fiber, R-E-V, revfiber.com. Lightning fast internet speeds up to 5 gigs, and the fiber part is what I really want to hammer down on because the all-fiber network means those cables are buried, so you get the security of not having to worry about a storm knocking a power line down and knocking out your cable, your internet, or your phone because it's buried. As soon as Rev laid fiber in our neighborhood, we switched instantly to Rev, and they've been awesome, man. When you call Rev for service, you're calling a local call center, talking to someone here. It's not AI. You're not forwarded to a call center overseas. It's local people, local service, local technicians that are here. RevFiber.com. Make your business operate more efficiently. Maybe save on the bottom line as well. RevFiber.com. RevFiber.com.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
I was talking about that Will Wade dinner, and there's a lady on Twitter who is probably a very nice lady. She's I'll use this word that people don't like, but just ignorant. And ignorant isn't an insult. Ignorant doesn't mean you're dumb. It just means there's a lack of knowledge. She just doesn't understand. They're putting together a dinner at Supper Club. It's a donor dinner. It's $3,500 a head, or a VIP where you get an hour. Cocktail hour prior for $5,000 a head. And I said, that's a great idea. LSU is engaging their sort of mid-level donor base. I mean, there are people who can afford $3,500 a head dinners as a donation and to get access to Will Wade, and people who would do that. Absolutely. There are very generous 7-figure donors and high 6-figure donors, and people who have shouldered an incredible burden during this era for LSU. And I think it is right to tap into your mid-level donors, the people who can write a $10,000, $25,000, $50,000, $100,000 check. And doing things like this, like giving them access in an intimate environment to Will Wade for a night and a dinner, that's awesome. That's a great thing to do. And a lot of people who can afford that will do it. That's not to say everyone can afford that, but there's a lady on Twitter who's like, don't you know how much gas is? You're saying what people can afford? Well, Brad texted, he said, don't tell me what people can afford while she tells you what people can afford. Which is well done, Brad. Well done, Brad. Well done. But it does genuinely surprise me. And she's probably a very nice lady. I don't mean that in any way to be demeaning to her. I guess maybe like Eric and I joke this time of year, I go into like Matt Moscona professional MC mode because everybody does events in the spring, right? Because fall is football season, then winter is holidays. And so in the spring, when it's beautiful around here, people have events like every week. You know this. Church fundraisers, school fundraisers, whatever charitable organization, they're all the time. So I get asked all the time to MC events. I mean, I literally lose count. And so I guess I've just been in enough of those rooms at different events where you see the varying levels of wealth, the various classes of wealth that people have. And there's some very wealthy, generous people who can give 7 figures. And there's people who can very easily, during a paddle raise, give $10,000 or $5,000 or what, because they have it. It's just my opinion is, without having looked at all the books at LSU and knowing the fun, I think LSU could do a better job of approaching the mid-level donor, that $10,000 to $100,000 donor. And events like this that they're doing with Will Wade, I think are a great example of a way to do that. I'm not saying that the average LSU fan can do that. What I'm saying is it's naive not to appreciate that there are fans, the same ones that maybe don't have a suite at Alec Box Stadium, but have gold chairback seats that pay a tradition fund that can afford that. Of course there are. Anyway, I think it's a great thing. I hope it's well attended. Hope they sell a lot of tickets. And you know what? Maybe I'll buy a ticket, Becky. But you know, Becky, I'll buy you a ticket, Becky. I'm kidding. I'm not buying you a ticket, Becky. Buy your own damn ticket. All right, it's after further review. Kirk Herbstreit was on the Pat McAfee show Tuesday. And add Kirk Herbstreit to the growing list of national analysts who are buying LSU. Earlier today on this show, we had Brad Crawford with us from CBS Sports. He has LSU as one of the 4 college football playoff teams from the SEC and believes that LSU could win a national championship year 1 under Lane Kiffin. Last week, we talked to Pete Futak of College Football News, who said national championship is a real expectation for Lane Kiffin in year 1. Chris Doering of the SEC Network said the same thing. Am I missing one? I feel like I'm missing one.
We played a clip from Josh Pate.
Josh Pate. Yep. Josh Pate was on with Crane and Cone. Said the same thing. Meanwhile, Lane Kiffin in his interview with Wilson Alexander tried to pump the brakes on that. Like, hey, man. So, but it's not stopping the growing chorus. And the latest was Kirk Herbstreit on the McAfee show.
I think the sky is the limit with Lane Kiffin. I know he is a polarizing figure. I know a lot of people like to talk about stuff he says, whether it's what he sends out on X. But I'm just telling you, I think he's going to bring an energy. When you're around LSU, when they're rolling, it's different than any other program in the country. It's not a swagger. It's just when they recruit the state of Louisiana, there's such pride in that state when it comes to how good they are at football that if you recruit the right guys, and it's not just talking trash, but it's actually when they were rolling the good teams, I think he's going to plug into that. I don't know how soon. Sam Levitt is going to be a lot to do with this if he can hit the ground running. You mentioned they got Clemson early, they go to Ole Miss week 3, but I would take the over personally on LSU with Lane Kiffin. And this is just the beginning. This is kind of year 1. I think it's a good fit. Just like he was a good fit at Ole Miss. I think wherever he goes, he's going to win.
Kirk Herbstreit taking the over with LSU year 1 and Lane Kiffin. Kiffin's trying to pump the brakes. A lot of other people, man, they are slamming down on the accelerator. It's after further review. We're brought to you by Our Lady of the Lake, where we always remind you that at FMOL Health, the team is more than 20,000 strong, delivering care across Louisiana and Mississippi as one connected, mission-driven health system. As a $5 billion health system with nationally recognized quality and not 1 but 2 exceptional workplace awards from Gallup, FMOL Health has built something people trust and continues to grow to meet the needs of the communities they serve. And when LSU needed a partner to care for its student-athletes, they chose Our Lady of the Lake as its championship health partner. That tells you everything you need to know, because that same level of care isn't just for athletes, it's for you, your family, and communities across the region. This is bigger than sports. It's about having a health system you can count on. FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake, and LSU. Together, we roar. Learn more at ololrmc.com/LSU, ololrmc.com/LSU. If you missed it earlier today, Jay Johnson met with reporters. Tigers open up their series Thursday against Florida, final series of the regular season. Jay left the Friday starter TBA. The game 1. The Thursday starter TBA. Friday will be Marcos Paz in game 2. And then Saturday in game 3 will be Zach Cowan. Jay did say that Kason Evans is available and will pitch in some capacity this weekend. It's most notable, though, that William Schmidt was not part of the weekend rotation. Obviously, at this point, he is their best starting pitcher. They understand their path to and potentially through Hoover is with William Schmidt. Their path to regionals is winning the SEC tournament. It's single elimination. Like, you have to win game 1 to get to a game 2. So you want your best guy going, that's William Schmidt. So effectively, they'd rather take a loss in the Florida series, because it ain't going to matter, and have Schmidt available for the opener of the SEC tournament on Tuesday. So that's effectively, Jay didn't say that, but it's effectively what they're doing. He also did talk about how he plans to handle the pitching this weekend in the series against Florida.
I think in terms of this week, we've tried to pare it down a little bit, recently, of who's actually getting on the mound and pitching to give us the best chance, as opposed to matching up. This weekend may be a little different because we're going to have to win 5 games in 6 days. So you're going to need more than 8 guys to do that. So we might get a couple guys on the mound this weekend that haven't been on the mound a lot lately, just to see if they can help next week.
I think there's 2 parts of that. Part of it is what he said, is getting guys to see if they can help, right? Getting guys some mound time. The other is to preserve the arms that you're going to need when you head to Hoover. So, giant, daunting task ahead of LSU when they head to Hoover. So, but it's their only path to the tournament. You got to get hot and go win the SEC tournament. All right, it's after further review. Let's talk about our final break of the show. Come back. Jimmy will be here for Auto Locks. Our Hump Day shows, as always, are brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Lowest prices, never any contracts, hormone replacement therapy, peptides, ED treatment. They do it all. YourGoodwood.com, YourGoodwood.com. All right, final break. Jimmy's here for Auto Locks next.
AFR.
Brought by the Watermark and the Renaissance. Watermark Downtown, Renaissance Southtown. If you're hosting an event here in 2026 or already starting to plan for 27, remember Renaissance Baton Rouge. Renaissance right there on Bluebonnet near I-10. It's across from Perkins Road in the mall, kind of between the two on the other side of the street. Gorgeous, sprawling facility if you've never been into Renaissance Baton Rouge. The Renaissance properties are amazing. Everyone is unique. I don't know if you know this, but every Renaissance hotel around the country is designed uniquely to that market. So, for example, you go in a guest room at Renaissance Baton Rouge, the wallpaper, in the bathroom, is like a Cajun dictionary. It's really cool. The carpet is actually designed as crab traps. So all that to say, Renaissance Baton Rouge is gorgeous. It's a phenomenal place if you haven't been inside of it, but it's a great place to host an event. If it's a fundraiser, a wedding reception, an awards banquet, a social gathering, board meeting, whatever size you may need, Renaissance Baton Rouge can host you. So call Allison Crump over at Renaissance Baton Rouge today. River Parish Contractors, if you're looking for work, or maybe you're not sure that you should be looking for work, but after we talk, you will be. See, at River Parish Contractors, there's so many reasons to go to work there. Number one, in no particular order, overtime. There's a lot of businesses, a lot of contractors that want you to work, but don't want you to work overtime. At River Parish Contractors, they got tons of work, and you can work as much overtime as you want at River Parish Contractors. You want to work day shift? Cool. You want to work night shift when it's cooler? Great. You can work night shifts there at River Parish Contractors. They have an amazing benefits package. 401k, health insurance, paid time off, the works, and you will be home with your family every night for dinner. So, interested? Got to call Big Jake over at River Parish Contractors. Log on to rpcontractors.com, rpcontractors.com.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Hump Day edition of AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Been a really good show. You miss anything? AFR On Demand is presented by Breck Golf. We had Brad Crawford in hour one, Scott Shanley last hour. Holden Mayo was here in hour one as well, talking about the Saints going to France. One thing left to do is find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Auto Locks.
Auto Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Spurs, 9.5. That over 8.5 with the Nationals and the Reds. Rays on the money line. Brewers money line. Pittsburgh first 5. You know what we call that?
What do we call that?
Perfection. I give my guy the big bells. What are we doing there? A little ding. I mean, freaking perfection. What do you do for an encore? Let's find out. Otter, what up?
Golf bell, huh? I mean, nursing home bell.
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Anyone at the front desk? I'm sitting like, can we get a raucous round of applause or something?
That's kind of a dentist. Yeah, that's kind of a dentist front desk.
When there's nobody sitting at the front desk and you need to alert them that you're there. Ding! All right, man. Great night last night. Congratulations. Let's keep it rolling. What are we looking at?
All right. All four teams have covered in the first four games, the Detroit and Cleveland series. Let's stay with that trend and lay the 4. Pistons -4 in the only hoops game tonight. Who's our favorite over team?
Nationals.
Last night. Let's don't overcomplicate it. Let's go over again. Over 9. Washington and Cincinnati. I'm looking at 8.5. Even better.
Yep.
Right now, no score in the bottom of the first. Who's our favorite team? The hottest team in all MLB to follow?
Rays.
The Rays. Let's go at them again. Now, I'll have to admit, I'm not crazy about the pitching matchup here, but until they lose a series, we are going to be on them. Tampa Bay looking for another sweep in as many weeks against the Toronto Blue Jays. Boston, Sonny Gray. That's the Musso's team, -130 against the Phillies and a rookie that may have hit a wall. Showed some signs early, but, man, he has had some rough goings as of late. Just the opposite for Sonny Gray. He is heating up at home in Fenway. Soft price here because Boston's win-loss record not too good right now. Boston -130. And
in game right now, it's $1.56.
Oof.
Keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it. They're top.
Okay.
They're top 1 with 2 out, so we'll keep an eye on it.
Okay. And then we're going to ride a team that we said last night, getting healthier. They won for us last night. Let's keep it going. Big pitching matchup here. Mizorowski, one of the National League's best, -156 against an overvalued team in the San Diego Padres. And a solid pitcher in Michael King, but he's no Mizorowski for any stretch. So there you go. Three money line sides in Major League Baseball, a total in the side in the basketball game.
I know it's been said before. Can you imagine Paul Skeens and Jacob Mizorowski on the same team in 2023?
Yeah, Charlie brings it up to me often. Yes. Yes. He does.
Man. So ridiculous. All right.
Yeah.
Pistons laying the 4. It's actually at 4.5 right now, DraftKings, but maybe shop it, see if you can find a 4 out there. Over 9 in the National Reds. You can in-game it right now at 8.5. Rays, Red Sox, Brewers, all on the money line. Rays coming back at plus money. So get in on it. All right, where are you tomorrow?
The original walk-ons, getting ready for the last home baseball series in conference play.
Wait. We have any consensus golf picks?
Yes, we do.
Okay, hit me.
I got to get my bag.
All right, get your bag. We'll wait.
No, I got it real quick, handy right here. We hit on Ricky Fowler. Is one of them. Cam Young and Patrick Cantlay. Fowler, Cantlay, Young.
All right. There are your consensus golf picks. Anybody else you like?
Max gave Fitzpatrick, Goddard, Sam Burns, Patrick Reed, and Steph Straka. West, in addition to those common plays, gave out Oberg, Fleetwood, and Henley.
All right. I got Fitz, Burns, Oberg, Fleetwood, Henry. Did I miss one?
I don't know. Henley.
Oh,
with an L.
Sorry, Henley. Sorry. All right, got it. But the consensus plays are Fowler, Young, and Cantlay. So
correct.
Let's get lucky there with the PGA. All right, so tomorrow at Original Walk-Ons.
Original Walk-Ons.
All right.
On Burbank.
11-1. Catch Hanny and the Otter every day. Thank you, Otter.
Good luck.
All right, thanks, man. Same to you. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online, southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. In the market for a new vehicle or a pre-owned vehicle, get on by South Point Volkswagen. You know where to find them at Airline just north of Highland, Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. They move more Volkswagens, which means they got a better inventory, better selection, and because they move more Volkswagens, they got more pre-owned vehicles, all different makes and models. So you know you're going to shop online. Just pop over to southpointvw.com, spelled just like it sounds. southpointvw.com. Go to the website. Look right there at the top of the page. There's new and used, 2 tabs. You want to see the new vehicles? Boom. Used vehicles? Boom. You want to narrow down your search? Year, make, model, body, style, price, narrow it all down? Boom. It's right there for you. Shop them online, then go test drive at Airline just north of Highland. southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? All right, been a really good show today. Thanks for hanging out with us here. As we always say, you miss anything on demand, catch AFR on demand presented by Brett Golf, podcast or YouTube. Just search after further review. Really interesting. Brad Crawford, CBS, was with us. Really bullish on LSU. We did a post-spring recap. He's got a piece up at CBS Sports, and he was really bullish on LSU year one under Lane Kiffin. He is not buying the whole Kiffin pump the brakes thing. The caveat is, he said what we, and I think a lot have said, a lot of that really depends on Sam Levitt's health. If Sam Levitt is not 100%, then all bets are off. And it really changes the entire conversation about LSU this year. You can be optimistic about what Landon Clark and Husan Longstreet can become, but there's a reason they went and paid Sam Levitt what they did to come here, and it was to be that immediate impact guy that's supposed to get this team into the playoffs in year one of the Kiffin era with this $40 million roster. We'll see if they can do it. All right, Paulie, what'd you learn today?
I learned that Cal Riley took a full uniform shower to end his hitless streak.
He did. Muse, what'd you learn today?
I wasn't ready
Awesome.
for this. Matt, what'd you learn?
Kirk Herbstreit also buying LSU in a big way. It's not hard, Muse. Just look at something on the rundown and say something. People think that they can't afford $3,500 for Will Wade.
AFR.
All right, we're getting on down the road. That Will Wade dinner, by the way, is at Supper Club. Last night, I went to Supper Club with some clients, had an awesome night. Listen, there's never a bad opportunity to go to Supper Club. Saw, you wouldn't mind me saying, saw LSU gymnastics coach Jay Clark at Supper Club last night. Great place to see and be seen if that's what you're for. Or if you're just trying to go get the best meal you can possibly get anywhere, go to Supper Club. SupperClubBTR.com. SupperClubBTR.com is where you can go to get your reservations. They're open Monday through Saturday, so closed Sunday, Monday. Tuesday to Saturday. Closed Sunday, Monday. But listen, last night, they always have, Chef Layton always keeps some great steak specials that are not on the menu. Last night, we did family-style steak. So we ordered the Australian Wagyu and the bison, which was both incredible. And it was enough that the four of us all got to sample these 2 amazing steaks and all the sides as well. Look, go have the best night of your life. Go to Supper Club. SupperClubBTR.com.